Welcome everyone. We're here today with a special Factory Friday live Q&A from Cairo, Georgia, Sailfish Boats. So we've got a few questions preloaded, but as we go through this, if you guys have any questions you'd like to send in, please feel free. We'll do our best to get through as many as we can in this short little bit of time. As usual, Michael, I'm here with Denny, and we'll dive right into it. So Denny, first question comes from Jeff, and apparently he is receiving his new 276 DC. Hopefully he received it last month. The hull design, is it truly different from 2021 versus earlier models, say 2014? He says he's seeing a lot of confusing dialogue in some online chat rooms.
Absolutely, Michael. The 275 was actually the 270 hull, which is Gen 4. The 276 DC is Gen 6 hull. So there's a totally different hull than lifting straits, the chine beam, on and on and on. So yes, it is a totally different design hull.
Some of the stuff we covered in our first Factory Friday, the BDS system, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the big thing I think we could say there, and not to divulge too much, but for those of you out there who are wondering the same thing, please feel free to go by a dealer and take a ride on one of these new hulls yourself, and I think it'll speak volumes for it. So, second question, a little more specific from Monty. He wants to know the difference between the Gen 2 hull and the Gen 6 hull.
Oh, a lot of difference. Gen 2 hull was actually in 2000-ish, in 2001, and then Gen 6 is all the way to where we are now. But Gen 2 was the beginning of changing the actual BDS hull to the next step. And each time we made different changes.
Yeah.
So the Gen 6 is a lot different than Gen 2.
So we're talking 20 years of iterations that have slowly made improvements, right?
Absolutely. All of it was in place in the early 2000s, but it was too quick to know that if something was a problem, which part of it was the problem.
Right.
So you make those slow changes.
Yep. So things that we can share. Our straights have gotten a little different over the years. So if you look at some older boats versus our newer ones, you'll definitely notice a more prominent strake geometry. We've increased our outer chine where the downward spray rail is and how much that turns the water down. Some of the things we discussed in Factory Friday 1. I think they've gotten a little softer over the years. I think you've mentioned that to me from your personal experience.
Yes, absolutely. Doing the lifting straights, we had to widen the chine beam to keep that soft ride.
Right.
One without the other would cause a different effect.
Right.
So each thing you do is a cause and effect.
Gotcha. So question 3, this customer has a 2660. He says while he enjoys his Sailfish and it rides very well, he'd love to learn how Sailfish measures our various dead rise hull angles.
Well, our dead rise that we talk about, 24 to 22, is at the delta. That's where the hull is doing its work. Okay, that's basically at the center of gravity.
Okay.
And then going forward, it's deeper.
So on our hulls, we describe our center of gravity kind of right underneath the captain's area.
About where you stand.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can think of that as really the entry point for the hull into the water when you're up on plane, maybe a bit more forward of that, but you describe it as the working dead rise?
That's the working dead rise. That's where the hull is doing its thing.
Right. And similar to our VDS, the way we describe our variable degree stepped, it's a little different than maybe the industry is thought of, where it's all measured at the transom. So
correct.
Yeah. Do we test every boat? Are they all tested on the water? If not on the water, what type of tests and inspections do you do at the factory? So I can kind of answer some of this a little bit. We perform a very extensive check in the shop when everything is fully installed. We're on the batteries, we'll hook up to a hose, we'll do a full water test. We go through and check every function of the boat, with the exception of anything that may pull water from the outside of the hull, right? Like an intake for a raw water system like a live well. Things like that, we really don't have a test tank here that we can check yet. But we go through and we do an extensive systems check all of our navigational systems, we check all of our engine functions to make sure that we're giving our dealers and our customers a nice product that's pretty much turnkey ready. Did I kind of miss anything there?
No, Michael, to add to that, we do water test all the boats, especially with the new hull design, because we have NMMA specifications that we have to be within their tolerances. So yes, we do go to the water, we do test these new hulls, we do run it through the paces, we do a static, float test, we do a run-in float test, we do all that stuff. So we make sure that it is user-friendly and it's a safe boat.
Awesome. The next question is a little more general. So how long have we been building boats using the Sailtech construction process?
Good question. Sailtech construction actually started in about 2002 to 2004. But each year, there's other composite materials that come into play.
Sure.
There's other technologies that come into play. So we enhance it year after year. Maybe not every year, but when new stuff comes out, we evaluate it, we plug it in, and we do it.
As the only manufacturer in the offshore, inshore fishing market using a variable degree step hull, why is that, and why is your hull design better than the more traditional modified V hull design of others?
Well, you and I are both from an engineering background. When you design something, you think it's the best.
Yeah.
So our competition thinks theirs the best. Ours has 3 hulls in one. Everybody else is just one hull.
Right.
So we do have a different running bottom than anybody else. And of course, we do believe ours is best.
Right. Some of the things I'd add to that, our competitors may chase mile per hour, top end speed, hole shots. We're a little more family friendly here. We're looking for fuel efficiency, some of the things we discussed in the first Factory Friday, comfort, safety, high, freeboard. Those are the things that we're really shooting for, and I'd say number one is fuel economy and comfort. So
Absolutely. Add to that, speed comes with a flatter bottom. We're more comfort, so we have a deeper beat. So we're not fast, we're just smooth.
Yep. How many people work at Sailfish? How large is our facility? I think square footage wise, do you have that figure?
It's 150,000 square feet under roof. We have a little over 21 acres, able to expand if we need to. Employee-wise, I'm not sure where we're at. We constantly hiring people every day.
Can't get enough good employees right now. 160, 170, somewhere around in there.
Yes.
130.
Yeah, we're probably today about 130-ish.
Okay.
And looking for more.
Yeah. So this last one is kind of aimed at you, but they said the same for me. What is your background? So I'll kind of start first, and then how long have you worked at Sailfish? So I'm relatively new. I'm within the last year. I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree, and I spent probably 8 years working in the aerospace industry. I grew up on the water. I've always been a big fan of boats and fishing and just that active lifestyle. So it was an easy decision for me to kind of make the switch when COVID changed my life around, just like it did everyone else's. So
Michael, I'm a little bit older than you. I started at 15 years old working in a dealership, mopping floors, washing boats, worked up to being a mechanic, master tech, service manager, worked my way through college, same thing, mechanical engineer degree, didn't use it, stayed in the business. In 1986, I got into the manufacturing industry in bass boats in Middle Tennessee. 15 and a half years there. I did customer service and warranty manager all the way to VP of sales and marketing. 2002, I came to this company. Same thing, sales and marketing and the Florida rep, and have several roles that I've played here throughout this, and now I'm in sales and transportation management.
One of the last questions I have, I actually tacked on to the end of this, so I hope you don't mind. What's your favorite model?
My favorite model is the 290. Only reason is because it's not too big, it's not too small, It is Gen 5 hull, so it still has all the attributes that Gen 6 has, but I like that size. It's perfect.
I think I agree with you, man. So I think that's all we have today. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. From our factory to you guys, we hope you have a great weekend. If you go out on the water, stay safe, have fun.
And safe boating.
Always.
Always.